Well, hi, everybody, as we welcome you in to our season ticket happy hour. Look, I know there's a lot of stress. I know there's a lot going on, and trust us, we are extremely aware of that. We're extremely understanding of everything going on, and all we want to do with the St. Louis Blues right now is our part to maybe just help give you a break in the day, share some of your questions with one of our great players, and just maybe just break up the monotony just a little bit. So thanks for tuning in to our season ticket happy hour. And look who we got. We got the big number 55, Colton Parayko, kind enough to join us. And Colton, first off, the house behind you looks terrific. I guess you're not testing your slap shot out in the kitchen.
Yeah, thanks. I know I'm excited here to be on today with all the season ticket holders and answer some questions for them and hopefully give them a little bit of fun for an hour in their day here. Obviously, some days can get long, so just connect with the fans. Obviously, we haven't been connecting through hockey, so connect this way, and this is the right way to do it now. But no slappers in the kitchen right now. I got the stick out in the garage, and I got the concrete that's kind of smooth down there and inside the garage, so it's easy to kind of work around in there.
Okay, are you actually taking slap shots anywhere near the house?
No slappers have been taken at my house. Just stick handling.
How close to your house is your neighbor's house?
I don't know. Probably. Oh, it's just next door, I guess.
Okay.
No, it would be close enough to hit it with a slap shot, or maybe off the crossbar and up and in through a window. So
probably if you walked out the door, if you walked out the door right now, slapped a puck as hard as you could at their house, came back in and kept chatting with us, how long before you probably get a knock on the door saying, "Hey, what's up"?
Probably right away, I'm assuming, because they would know it's me. But I don't know how many other hockey players are around the neighborhood, but they'd probably know which way it came from, and probably I'd be the person they're coming for.
What do the neighbors think about having Colton Parayko for a neighbor?
I hope they enjoy it. I'm pretty easygoing, I feel like, for the most part. I like we're on the road half the time, so I guess I'm pretty quiet that way. And when I'm home, it's just me. So I try to just stay quiet and do my thing here. But I have really good neighbors. I actually just got a couple new neighbors that are moving in right now. So met them the other day, and they seem like great people. And my other side, they have a family of 6, so they've been really helpful throughout my time here. They've help me with my garbage cans and stuff when we're on the road, and I've had a really good relationship with them. So it's been fun, and I really enjoy being their neighbors.
Well, it is a happy hour, and the reason we're able to bring this to you, one of the great sponsors of St. Louis Blues hockey is Jack Daniels. I haven't opened this one yet from a couple of years back, but this was a single barrel, and they were selling it. It came with a little Blues 50 medallion on it. So now I do believe, kind of like Alexander Steen. I was talking to Alexander Steen. He's a whiskey drinker. I know there's several others on the team. And the point of having it is to drink it. So we'll drink it. The other one, and this is the one I poured for the happy hour today. Is nice. I poured some Tennessee honey, and you sitting over your shoulder, you got the rye, which, by the way, I've had that. Is a terrific
rye here.
Yeah, if you like to make now some people want to drink it neat, which means, not on the rocks. The honey I poured, I got my big old cube. And by the way, folks, you like that? You like the logo? I don't know if you can see the logo too much in there, but a Blues Championship logo backed up with the color of whiskey is always good. But if you really like your old fashions, that one that you have over your shoulder there, the rye, is a good one. And then, by the way, put it in that mug. Yeah. The mug he just took a sip out of. How about that?
Jack Daniels Yeti.
Do you own another Yeti?
I do. I have a bigger one. I don't know. It's tough to kind of know the size, but I have a bigger one that I like to take when I'm on the road or something. And I have another Yeti that is maybe a little bit bigger than the mug here, where you can take it for daily use, and you get a lot of water out of it, which I like, and holds a lot of water instead of just having individual water bottles. And I think it holds like 2.5 or something.
I turn those things into a science experiment. Isolast in those things for 8 hours.
That too. It's
hot
great.
Peach stays hot for like 4.5.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It really is phenomenal. All right, so here we've got a bunch of season ticket holders. Obviously, you can see things pop up on the screen, whatever, and we're going to try to get to as many questions as we can. You and I could probably talk for another 3 hours, and maybe get to some things people are interested in. But why don't we do some of the season ticket ones, and I'll mix in some fun ones as well. And throughout this hour, and folks, if you see me looking off to the left just a little bit, I've got my iPad here and stuff just to make sure I can keep track of everything going on at once. I don't quite have that weatherman ability to be looking at the screen and pointing exactly where I want to go just yet and stuff. So we've also got some season ticket holders that have won some great stuff from some Blues sponsors. We're going to pass those out over the course of this hour as well. All right, Colton, you ready for some questions from some season ticket holders?
Let's do it.
All right. First one comes from Tanya Haithcoat. Who in the locker room has the funniest nickname or reason behind their nickname?
Ooh, funniest nickname. I don't really know what would be a funny one. French toast probably. Perron, because he's French. I don't know if that's probably the funniest one we got, and kind of the most logical one, I guess. I think that one's a good one.
Does Jaden Schwartz have a nickname other than Schwartzy?
We got a lot of nicknames for Schwartzy. Too many to name.
All right, that's fair. Hannah Bush. Aside from the Jack Daniels rye that you have over your shoulder, what is your go-to quarantine beverage?
Ooh, that's a good question. I've been, I don't know if it's alcoholic or not, but I like the old honey, and then you throw some lemon in there, and then I put it in with hot water, mix it, but then I add the ice cubes, so it's like a cold honey lemon drink. Yeah, that's been my go-to. I like having that. That's
actually lime juice, honey, and hot water. When my voice gets a little sore during the season or something, that's my go-to drink.
Well, I like that one. It's kind of like a nice tea, but I don't know. It's good. Right. Coffee in the morning for sure too.
So here's a quick story for a few years ago. I forget. It might have been was it the 13 playoffs? Game goes into triple overtime. Alexander Steen scores the game-winning goal. All right, I start to lose my voice about the second period. By the third period, it's really not playing along, and sure enough, the game goes into overtime. So I walk out of my booth, and I go into the alumni booth, which is down on the corner there in the upper level, and Alita was the bartender at the time, and I couldn't find any hot water, and I just wanted to put some honey in some hot water. And I said, Alita, I said, I need some hot water. Can you help find me some hot water? She goes, what's going on? I go, I got no voice. We're going into overtime. I got no voice. She goes, you don't need any hot water. You need a hot toddy. I go, ooh. So she makes me a hot toddy, which is basically some Jack Daniels, some hot water, a little bit of honey, right? Okay. And so in all fairness, I drank that hot toddy to get through, my voice through the first overtime. Well, it went to a second overtime, so I went back in there. The game went to the third overtime. I was on my third hot toddy just to get through and was able to say he scores on the big goal. So
that's a good story. I like that one.
That one works. All right, here we go. Deb Greeny. Do the Blues fans' support really make a difference to the players during the game?
I think so for sure. You definitely go to different arenas where the fans, there might not be as many fans or it's not as loud in there, but St. Louis fans are one of the best, if not the best in the league for being behind us. And they can help change the momentum of a game for sure. And they're fun to play in front of. But you kind of think of different times where maybe you're down a goal or something and the fans might start cheering or get loud, then kind of gives you a little bit of a push. And they can definitely be behind you and help you out for sure.
Hey, what do you remember? What was it like for you to walk out of O.B. Clark's and go down into the parking lot and stand there with the fans cheering back up at your teammates holding the Stanley Cup?
That was pretty cool. What an experience. Such a fun experience. Obviously, winning, we were the guys on the ice, but it was the whole city that was behind us. And it wasn't just for us. It was definitely for our teammates and the coaching staff and family and friends, but the city, most importantly. They were behind us the whole way. They have been with us for a long time, and to get that first championship and share with them is special. So that was such a cool opportunity to get down there and share that experience with the fans. You could tell how excited they were, and that parking lot filled up in a hurry when people heard about what was happening. So too much fun.
I don't know what your expectations were in your head when you thought, boy, if we win the Stanley Cup, if I win the Stanley Cup, I mean, you're thinking of this in college or playing junior hockey, whatever it may be. what that would be like. But I do make the assumption, have to assume that what it was like had to surpass any expectations you had.
100%. I got to say, you obviously try to put in perspective what it would be, but there was just, I don't know, that experience was definitely the coolest experience of my life. Just, I don't know, everything. You work so hard from being a little kid to kind of just making it to each level and trying to get to the next level, let alone make it to the NHL in the first place, and then get the opportunity to win a Stanley Cup. This has been my 5th year here in St. Louis, and we've had some really good teams. We've been to the semifinals and quarterfinals, and we've had teams that could have went on and won. So getting the chance to get to the finals and winning, it's obviously a special feeling. So just putting it all to perspective, you kind of have one summer to have that whirlwind, and just everything about it was so much fun. From, I feel like every single day or weekend we had something going on. Like we had the parade, and then we were doing stuff with Anheuser-Busch, then we did stuff together as a team with the Cup, and then you went home and you had the day with the Cup with your family, which was arguably my favorite day of the summer. But there's just no way of really describing winning it the day in Boston, that night in Boston, and sharing it with your teammates and your family.
All right, so it's our Jack Daniels season ticket happy hour for all the season ticket holders logging in. All right, here's a question from Brad Martell. Brad's question: Hey, Colton, my 12-year-old son is named Colton, and you are his favorite player. Will you please give him a shout out, or just say hello to him? Thank you, and stay healthy. Stay healthy.
Hey, Colton, great name. I love it. Thank you for being a fan of myself and the Blues. We enjoy your support, and have a great day, and make sure you're staying safe and healthy, and just enjoy your time when you can outside, and just, good luck if you're a hockey player. Good luck and have fun.
All right, Jeff DeBus has a question for you, Colton. Says he's a huge fan. If the NHL is able to resume with the start of the playoffs to award the Cup in 2021, well, in this case, it would still be 2020. Do you think the break may help some teams versus others, and would the Blues be a team benefiting from this pause?
It could. It's tough to tell, I would say, but as a whole, maybe some teams might have had injuries, obviously, and some teams could have got different players back at the time that it resumed. But I think that could have been a way that it helped. But as a whole, I think everybody's kind of going through the same thing. So maybe if certain teams are kind of staying up to date on their workouts and staying up to date on that kind of stuff, it might help. But I think everybody's got to start from the same square. It all ended at the same time, so no real competitive advantage, I would say, but just making sure that you're ready as a team coming out of the gates, and making sure that you build quickly as a team, because it happens fast, and especially if you start with the playoffs. You got to make sure you're ready, and it can be over quick if you're not.
Well, Jody Stone, another Blues season ticket holder, wants to know one thing St. Louis doesn't have that you miss from home.
Ooh, that's a good question. The easy answer would be my family, but maybe
that's actually a good answer. I didn't think of that one.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think it's a
very good answer.
You might mean something else, but I'm just trying to think what exactly I don't have that I have at home. Maybe I don't know, what's Canadian. Just trying to think. Yeah, maybe some good maple syrup. I don't know. That's a good question.
All right, think about it, and if we come back to, we'll come back to that one.
Okay, sounds good.
Those are hard ones sometimes to answer. DJ Malone wants to know, what is your favorite piece of hockey memorabilia that you own, not related to you?
Favorite hockey memorabilia I own. I'm just trying to think if I have something specific that was given to me. This is my collection, I guess, I got going on. I collect sticks from different guys that I've played with over the years, and they sign the bottom, and so I have a bunch of those in my garage, and I think that those are my favorite pieces that I have right now. Back in the day when I was younger, I had a signed Edmonton Oilers jersey from the whole team, signed Grant Fuhr jersey, which was really cool. But I think it's cool to have a piece of some of the players that you play with, their stick and their signatures, and a good way to kind of look back at memories.
You know, you come to St. Louis, you get a chance to meet the different athletes. You've been on the field at Busch Stadium and met some of the different Cardinals. I know you're a racing fan. Well, what was it like for you and been like for you to kind of get to know and become friendly with NASCAR driver and Kenny Wallace?
It's been awesome. He's such a great guy. He's always there to support you, and will always shoot you a message after a game or something. But it's been a lot of fun, and he's helped me with a lot of racing aspect of things in terms of helping me out with going to Daytona with my dad. I took my dad to Daytona, and he really made sure that we enjoyed our experience. And my dad was the guy that got me into racing. So having a guy that like Kenny to help give us such a great experience was unbelievable, and I can't thank him enough for that. So, but just overall, he's such a great individual. He's there to support you, and just a guy that he's easy to get along with, and everybody likes him. He's likable.
That was a really special trip for you and your dad, wasn't it? It meant it was something that you really wanted to do for your dad.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, that's something I'll remember for the rest of my life, and hopefully him as well, obviously. But he's been a race fan for his whole life. Sundays weren't golf for us. It wasn't anything else but racing from morning to night. You start with that Formula One race that's usually in Europe, and that's usually really early, and then you either have the IndyCar or the NASCAR. But it's a full day thing for us on Sundays, and that was a childhood memory for sure.
That's awesome. All right, how about this for a season ticket holder winner? Robert and Christina Jackson, by the way, happy anniversary, which is on April 25th. And we've got an autographed puck and a Schnucks gift card for you for tuning in and for being a Blues season ticket holder. So congratulations to you. All right, we're going to try and just continue to get through as many season ticket holder questions as we can. It's our Jack Daniels season ticket holder happy hour. Colton Parayko kind enough to slide in and just shoot the breeze with us a little bit. I got my Tennessee honey poured in my glass. I'm telling you, I love this. This, by the way, there's a so this has the championship logo on it, the glass. It's really hard to see because of the way the light is and the way the glass is going. It's not hard to see when you're holding it close to your face, I promise you that. But it actually comes it comes in a set that the team had in the store. I went and I bought them and then started buying them and giving away for people the gifts. But it's got these two glasses plus a decanter. So you can – oh, yeah, you put like a dark rye or something in there, and that logo absolutely pops.
Where'd you get that from?
Team store.
Team store, perfect.
Yeah, the team store. They had it. I don't know if we got to check out if they got it on stlauthentics.com right now, but that's where we got it there. All right, here's a question from Brian Bukarit. Again, I apologize if I butcher a name when I'm on the air. I just keep going. I feel a lot worse when it's a season ticket holder's name, and I don't know how to say it. Bukari is the name. All right, Tim Hortons or Starbucks?
Tim Hortons, for sure. Maybe that's – can I go back to the question at the beginning? And
yeah,
Tim Hortons might be – because Tim Hortons is the thing I guess I missed.
That you go to?
You answered the question for me.
Do you indulge in some Timbits when you pull through the drive-thru?
I do usually. Well, I have a niece and nephew, so to kind of play it off a little bit, I make sure I'm bringing some home for them, you know. But I tend to dabble and have one or two.
Like legit question here, okay? It's Timbits or donut holes are really kind of like potato chips. Like there's no way you just eat one.
I know.
So you almost have to buy the smaller box to guarantee you don't eat more than the smaller box, right?
Just get the 6-pack and that's it. But I know they're like chips. If I'm watching TV or something and I start eating chips, it's bag might be gone.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, Linda Potts. Here's a good question. How have you kept up your skating skills since March 12th?
It's tough in terms of skating, like on ice, I guess, just because we're not able to go to the rink. But we're definitely been working out, making sure our cardio is up. So we're staying in shape and fit. But in terms of the skating, I feel like we're going to pick it up in no time. We get one or two skates in there, and it'll be like we're in mid-season form, I think. And just we've been doing it forever. So, but yeah, it's been tough, obviously, in terms of not being on the ice, because all the facilities are closed. But we're staying in shape. We're working out. We're making sure that we're ready if the season pops up here and when we need to get back. And I just ordered a pair of rollerblades that they act like, well, they're supposed to act like ice skates. So we're going to see if those are like relatable or not. And hopefully they are, which would be really cool. And that can help with just keeping those muscles going and whatnot.
So if we see a 6'6" figure skating from essentially Wildwood down towards somewhere in Midtown, we'll know who it is.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no double looking.
All right. I think I know where Dan's question here. Dan Wolf has this question for you. And I think I remember Vince Dunn telling the story of somebody. They asked him to sign either their back or their leg or something like that, and this guy was going straight to a tattoo parlor then to have the signature tattooed onto him, which is really something. So Dan Wolf wants to know what's the weirdest thing a fan has asked you to sign any made into tattoos.
I have had one tattoo. It was a girl, and she had multiple of the team already. Wasn't just myself. There was a group of them, and
this team, or was it a former team?
Nope, this team, and it was the same thing. We were at a signing, and we signed. I think it was her shoulder blade, and she went. I don't know if it was straight to the tattoo parlor or not, but yeah, she ended up getting it. And I saw her again at another signing, and she showed me, and I was like, "Wow, that's legit. You actually pulled through," because you never really know. But also, a baseball was a different one too. At a Cardinals game one day, someone had a baseball. It's different.
Yeah. Well, so at the Winter Classic, John Tudor, left-handed pitcher for the Cardinals, they acquired him in 1985. He was 1-8 or 1-7, I think, with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Whitey Herzog acquired him. He ends up going 20-1 the rest of the year, second in the Cy Young voting to Dwight Gooden. But John Tudor, I'm a lefty, so yeah. John Tudor was always my favorite. So he's from the New Hampshire area, huge hockey guy, and so he came in for the Winter Classic to skate against Blues alumni and stuff, and so I actually had John Tudor sign a hockey puck.
Nice.
Just pulled the kid thing there. Did she do the tattoo in black ink and any color ink?
Just black.
Do you remember who you were above or below in terms of the name on that of the other signatures?
I can't remember. I kind of quickly glanced and saw that she actually pulled through, and I was like, "Wow."
Gotcha. Nice. All right. Here's an interesting one. I didn't know this about you, but so if this is true, let me know. Bill Hammock seems to think that it seems that you are an adrenaline junkie. I've seen you at Supercross and auto racing events. What would be your favorite adrenaline rush?
Yeah, I love anything with a motor that goes fast for sure. I think if I was to say one adrenaline rush that would be the most, would probably be going in a fighter jet, I would assume. Going up and just pulling some G-forces and turns and whatever up there. But I think that would probably be the most adrenaline rush. But we went in the IndyCar 2-seater. That was amazing. We did that one around with St. Louis track here. It was oval. So it'd be pretty cool to try out a road course, though. Maybe see what it feels like to go left, right, and kind of do that.
Dude, I'm right there with you on the jet. And with the Blue Angels coming into town, I got a hunch one day for you that could become a reality.
That would be unbelievable.
Now, in the old jet, like in the old days, like to be a fighter pilot, it used to be, to be a fighter pilot in some of the early days of those fighter pilots or the early days of the astronauts, the Mercury 7, you had to be within a certain height. Like you would have been way too tall to have been a Mercury 7 astronaut.
Yeah, I got to squeeze my way in there somehow now. But
yeah, I mean, there would have been no way for you to even fit in the capsule.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So but I think now now with the jets, at least to give you a ride, they'll give you some more leg room there. All right, well, this is a simple one. Like Kenneth and Gretchen Davis, have you always been a defenseman?
No, actually, I switched from forward after Pee Wee, I believe. So I was a forward for a long time, actually, pretty much my whole like minor hockey. And I switched from Pee Wee, so I played bantam and midget as defenseman before going to junior. Yeah, I don't know even what transitioned me to become a defenseman or why I chose to be a defenseman, but I think I just played it and I enjoyed it. You can play defense, but at the same time, you can also be offensive, which is a lot of fun. You can play both ends of the ice and play a full 200-foot game.
Do you remember how tall you were at the age of 16?
I was like 5'8" or 5'9". I was not
really.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then that, like, either between 15 and 16 or 16, 17, I grew like 6 inches that summer. It was crazy.
What did you eat?
A lot. I don't know. My poor parents refilling the fridge every couple days, probably.
Okay, so seriously though, at 15, 16 years old and playing hockey, are you thinking that I'm going to be a 5'9" hockey player?
At that point, I wasn't sure how tall I was going to be or when I was going to get my growth spurt, but I was supposed to be 6'4", like when you do one of those baby,
Yeah.
one of those measurements when you're a baby. I don't know what the measurement is or how they do it, but I was supposed to be 6'4". So I'm like, I was like, this is kind of getting late to get a growth spurt. So maybe not. I might just be 5'9", 5'10". But yeah, it just hit me one summer. It was crazy. And then I tried skating the next winter, going into the next season. It wasn't very pretty. A lot of work to be done when you grow that much and trying to get all the coordination back.
Oh, I mean, seriously, that couldn't be easy. When were you fully grown height wise, or were you still grown when you went up to Alaska for college?
I think I grew another inch when I was up there.
Wow.
Maybe an inch or two, almost.
We know it wasn't a slap shot.
Just a second. I think.
Yeah, go get it. Go check it out. This is what happens when you do happy hours. More people want to come over and hang with you. That's actually a positive. It's also a good time to take another drink.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's all right. So was it A, a neighbor, B, a delivery, C, a friend wanting to come over, but because you're social distancing, you're not allowed to have them over and you had to turn them away, or D, a pollster or door-to-door salesman that just says, I'm going door-to-door no matter what's happening?
It was D, salesman, and yeah, it was. I wasn't expecting anyone, or I didn't know anyone was coming, so I was kind of caught off guard too. But yeah, just going door to door, just doing some selling.
All right. I'm not sure that's the social distancing that our governor asked for, but okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Colton, as always, very polite with everybody that comes to the front door. All right. Let's see. Okay. Here's an interesting one. Greg Butman wants to know, what do you miss most during this stay-at-home period other than hockey?
Can I say the team, the guys?
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay. It's obviously playing hockey and being around the guys are different things, but just being around the guys, it's always a fun environment. We enjoy getting up and going to the rink and sharing stories and being together. We have a close-knit group, so just spending time with them and having fun at the arena.
We've got a couple questions here from some season ticket holders asking if when this is over, if you'd oh, they're back again? This is awesome.
Holy man. Delivery man this time. This is a disaster.
This is okay. Did you just get ding-dong ditched?
No, this time the delivery guy, and he just left the package up front for me.
We've got a couple of questions here of people wondering if you'll go out to dinner with them after this is all over.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Depends where, maybe.
Okay. Oh, depends where. All right, so I'm going to keep the names out of this one, but maybe we'll figure some way to connect on that later.
There you go.
Well, one question: where are you staying home? We know that we can see that you're sitting at home. All right, this is a bit of a hard one to answer. Melissa Foraker wants to know, what is the most creative / fun thing you've done since we started social distancing?
Ooh, most creative. I built a basketball hoop in my backyard. That was kind of tough, but it's been fun.
Installed or built?
Just built, like put together, I guess.
All right.
I didn't install it like in the ground, but it has a base that you have to attach it to. So I would say built.
Okay. All right.
Basketball. You had to get the rim on the backboard and attach the backboard to the pole, and yeah, it was a challenge, but it got done, and now it gives me something to do on these nice days.
Have you dunked yet?
I can dunk, yes.
You don't have to jump. Okay, how high up on your arm can when you go to jump? Can you get like to your elbow?
I don't know. I don't know if I can get that high, but I would assume close.
Okay, all right. That'd be a good. We can do a whole betting hour on that kind of stuff. Play pig with Colton Parayko.
Play a horse or something like that.
Yep. I told you earlier, from a video game standpoint, I I hadn't played video games in quite a long time, and my kids are absolutely kicking my butt in Mario Kart, and it just absolutely pisses me off.
Well, we're competitive people. It
Oh,
wouldn't make me happy either. If it's my kids or brothers, sisters, friends, or even any other people I don't know. You want to win. I love winning.
We're competitive enough. So my oldest, Gracie, she's figured a lot of this out. She knows where these shortcuts are, and she's laughing the whole way. I said, you better start telling me where some of these shortcuts are, or we're going to go house rules. She has no idea what house rules work. Yeah. So there's literally all of us are playing. My wife's on one of the joysticks. She's in second, and Gracie's about to win. I got behind her, snuck the remote, chucked it out of her hand. She had to go across the room, and Christy won while she was going. House rules.
I like it. Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
That's exactly right. Oh, here's a good one. Mark Hall wants to know, if the season continues and they play the games without fans present, what do you think that would be like?
It would be different for sure. Just in terms of, I think kind of we touched on this earlier, but having fans can potentially be a home ice advantage and potentially change the way teams play. But I think at the end of the day, though, just getting back to hockey would be nice. Kind of finishing out and seeing how it goes. But for sure, fans do have some sort of, I would say, a little bit of a factor in the game, at least. I mean, that's why we call it home ice advantage, and that's what it's there for. But I guess if that's what it takes to continue, and that's what it takes to make everyone safe, then we'll just have to follow the guidelines.
This we've got a young Colton Parayko fan that has been watching this whole thing, tapping me every now and then. You see the hand come in. This is Ava. How's
it going, Ava?
Say hi to Mr. Parayko. Do you have a question for him? Anything you want to know? No.
Give me a question.
Why is he one of your favorite players?
No, because he's good.
Because he's good, yeah.
Thank you.
Because he's tall.
What's your favorite activity you've been doing since you've been quarantined?
Soccer.
Nice. That's a good one. Who do you play with?
This team. AFA Phillies.
Perfect. I like it. What position?
Forward.
Ooh, you're a goal scorer. I like that.
But wait, what does your dad tell you all the time? First up? First back. Don't give the ball up and then let your defense go to work, right? Because it's on guys like him that happens.
Back checking helps us. So
yeah, back checking helps your D. All right, let's ask another question here. Well, she's blushing now. That's pretty good. Who was your childhood idol growing up?
Ooh, childhood idol. Does it have to be a sports player? Or?
Nope, doesn't have to be. That question, by the way, came from Sharon Schottel.
I don't know. Maybe my parents and my grandma, I guess. I don't know. Those were the ones that kind of shaped who I am and kind of did things with me growing up that kind of gave me life lessons and brought me to who I am, maybe. So
I like it.
Those were the ones I've listened to and kind of the ones that I've taken things the most serious about.
Is that what made spending some time with your grandpa and the Stanley Cup that much better?
Yeah, for sure. He was arguably my biggest supporter growing up, and he did not miss one single game. I can say my dad too, but he might have missed a couple through work. But my grandpa, he had the opportunity to see every single game, and I don't honestly remember him missing one game. So cool, and such a great childhood memory. And every single game I would come out of the dressing room and he would have a Gatorade waiting for me, or if in the newer days when the booster juice started to open up in the arenas, he would have a booster juice waiting for me if there was a booster juice in the arena. So funny things you kind of remember, but yeah, he never missed a game, and I'll just remember that.
Would your parents or your grandpa, after a game, when you're done with the game, immediately talk to you about that game, or would they just let it breathe a little bit unless you wanted to talk about it?
Depends, I think. Usually you had the car ride home after the game. Sometimes my dad would ask me how it went, but he was pretty understanding or pretty open about how the game went. And made sure that I had fun, obviously, was the biggest thing as a kid and when I was learning, just giving me pointers more than trying to be hard on me, but making sure that I understood kind of what was going on. And but I just think he he wanted to make sure I was having fun, and that's kind of why we play and why we start. So we would kind of go over the game, I think, just because it was fresh, and kind of he would ask what I thought, and then kind of it would be done by the time we got home, I think. And but yeah.
What is the most impactful thing you learned from Larry Robinson in his kind of short time around the team? Because he hasn't been around the team all that long, just about a year and a half or so, and then he was on the bench for a couple weeks. So within relative shortness, I guess I should say, what's the biggest impactful thing you've learned from that Hall of Famer?
I would say off the ice, he's just a guy that everyone loves to be around. Just his attitude and character towards everything is great. So just the way that he carries himself, I would say, is something that I look up to, and the way that everybody should kind of be in the locker room. And you can tell as soon as he enters the room, everybody loves being around him. He's just great to have around. And in terms of hockey, I think the one thing we've been working on the most, and the thing that has helped me the most, is just my stick position and where my stick is when the other opposing forwards, I guess the other team could be a D-man as well, but when they have the puck, just making sure I'm stick on puck and closer. Just my stick position and where it should be to deny passes, deny chances, and that's you can almost use your stick to just kind of direct guys. And it's such a small thing that probably you would not notice if you're just watching a normal game, but such a small thing that makes a big difference. And it's actually been really impressive to see how well it works, and obviously learn from a guy like Larry.
Very cool. Oh, here's a good question. Braden Ginn, Mr. Parayko, what would you want to be if you weren't a hockey player? And Braden is 8 years old.
Hey, Braden. I'd probably be a pilot. I've always wanted to be a pilot. That was kind of what I was thinking about being before I continued with my hockey career. So that I think that's where I would go with it.
The jets, like you want to fly those, or just any kind of pilot, just get up in the air?
Well, initially I was thinking just any kind of plane, just because it's got a motor and whatnot. But I think the jets would obviously be cool.
Okay. Lauren Arand wants to know, what player would you consider to be the life of the locker room?
The life of the locker room. Oh, well, depends, I guess, what you consider the life of the locker room. We got guys that talk a lot. We got guys that are in the mix of a lot of different things, but I don't know. We have so many different fun personalities on the team that make it enjoyable. I would say Perron is probably the most talkative, though. You can hear that guy from the other side of inside the locker room. If you're in the training room, you can hear him almost when you're in the dressing room. But in terms of the life, I don't know. No one specific. I guess we all kind of just sit in there, get ready, chat. Sometimes we're listening to music, and everybody usually chimes in.
So if you ever get a chance to ask Keith Tkachuk, David Perron's first ever practice with the team, he comes in, the Blues draft him in the first round. He played 1 year of major junior. They bring him in. I think he was the 21st, 26th pick in the draft. And they bring him in. They're doing a battle drill, and he's all over Keith Tkachuk. I mean, he's just a horsefly on a horse's butt, and just doesn't matter what the tail's doing, he's not leaving, right? After the practice, the media went into Big Walt and said, "Hey, Walt, what'd you think of that?" He goes, "I don't know if he didn't know who I was or didn't care."
No way.
Yeah, but that was his very first practice there at then Scottrade Center, as he was just trying to make the team as he did being drafted that year.
That's great. Yeah, he's probably the most talkative, I guess we could say.
It was that's great to hear. All right, a few more for you, Colton. If you got a few more minutes with us.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, we've already somebody asked a question. All right, Kevin Delansky. Kevin Delansky wants to know, he says, during the 2016 playoffs, you were taking online college exams while playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs. How did you focus on the two individual tasks? And were you taking the exams during game days, after games, or on off days?
Yeah, I think the two different things almost worked hand in hand. I think they worked out perfectly in terms of, I played hockey. When I was at the rink, I'd focus on that, but I'd come home and all I was doing was just thinking about the games, or thinking about who we were playing and what was going to happen, and just thinking about the previous game. And my mind just wouldn't stop racing about hockey, but gave me the chance to kind of take my mind away from hockey almost, and just kind of settle it down, relax, and work on homework, work on exams or whatever. So I think it was nice to actually have that, just because being a rookie in the league, obviously you got a lot going on. You want to play at your best. You want to be your best. You want to help the team succeed and be a part of that all. So to have that kind of on the side and take my mind away from a lot of different things in terms of hockey was, to me, I thought beneficial, and I enjoyed that part of it.
Last year during the playoffs, did you ever let yourself think we could win the Stanley Cup, or did you truly stay in the moment of one game and one shift at a time?
I mean, a little bit of both. Like, I think when we were going into the playoffs, you kind of are like, okay, wow, like our team is really good. This is one of the best, if not the best team we've had in my 5 years I've been here. And I know they've had some really good teams even the previous year before I got here. So, but in terms of the team that we've had when I was here and what I was kind of thinking, I'm like, okay, this is serious. Like, our team has got the potential to make a great push. Obviously the playoffs, there's so many different dynamics, so many different things happen that one bounce could mean the difference of a series or whatnot. So anything can happen, but I was thinking, like, this is a good chance for us to make a serious run, a good chance to the championship and win the Stanley Cup. But kind of when you're going through it, it's almost a different mindset. Almost you're like kind of stuck in the series and the games at hand. You kind of focus on each game differently, I guess. You can't really kind of get caught up in the previous games or the games that are coming forward. Obviously, there's examples, if you want to talk about the San Jose series where the hand pass thing happened, we kind of put that one behind us and almost used it as a little momentum and won the next 3, I believe it was, to close out the series. And Boston, we got lost on home ice in Game 6, and that could have been a huge turning point, I feel like, in the whole series. But we kind of pushed that one behind us. We knew how good of a road team we were. We knew what we could do if we played together on the road and how to play and how to win on the road. So we just took that mindset and we took that into that game, and we didn't really – none of the games before that Game 7 mattered at that point almost, in terms of the only task we need to do is win one game and you win the Stanley Cup. So you got to make sure you kind of look at the series at an overview almost, I feel like, and then but you've got to dial in on each game and just take a different approach at each game, because they're all different and there's so many different things that happen within a game. If you want to get specific, you could be up 2 goals, you could be down 2 goals in the game too, and that is a lot different than kind of where the series is at. There's a lot that can happen. You might have a bad shift as a player if you want to break it down that much, and you got to come back the next shift and make sure you're at your best. So you can't kind of let the little things bother you, I guess.
Yep. Let's get a couple of the Trapp family. A lot of family celebrations during this COVID time. Ed and Terry Trapp celebrated their 22nd wedding anniversary. Ed celebrated his birthday on April 4th. Their son Patrick celebrated his birthday on March 15th. Colton is Ed's favorite player, so we're going to send Ed and family a Jack Daniels bottle and an autographed jersey. And then to Tim Hakala, Tim and his wife Sarah celebrating their 26th anniversary on April 30th, so that's coming up. Happy anniversary, Tim and Sarah. They both have their birthdays here on April 21st and April 22nd, so we'll send them an autographed puck and a Jack Daniels bottle as well. So everybody's participating in our Jack Daniels happy hours. We spend a couple more minutes with Colton Parayko here. Hopefully, we're just giving you a break. We're very in tune, as we said, to understanding what is going on in the world around us. It's impacting us as it is impacting others as well. And we just hope that maybe through our chats, through involving you in the chat, we can just take your mind off of things for just a little while and give you a small break in the day. And that's all we're really trying to do, and help be a part of it, keep the Blues family together in the process. I have had a chance, because of all the different replays, to watch the games again. And I hadn't done it yet, a lot of those playoff games. How you see it when you're sitting up in the booth, way up in the air, where Joe and I are, and then how you call it and what you're focused on. Boy, when you watch the games, you see some other things. And it's created a whole list of other questions I'm curious about, with some of you guys. But one of the questions that I haven't asked anybody that I'm curious if you had any special moments in the handshake line, whether it be congratulating or thanking or saying something to an opponent on the other team that stand out to you from any one of those 4 series last year?
Not specifically. There was guys, I guess, I've played with just throughout being in the league, obviously in the Team North America team. There was a couple players that we're on that team that we played throughout the playoffs, and I went over and played with Team Canada in the World Championship. So just meeting those players and kind of getting a little bit of bond with those guys in those tournaments, I guess were times to kind of get to know other players in the league. This is my only team. I don't know a lot of other players in the league. But for me to go over and play those tournaments, you kind of get to know them. So that's kind of the only guys I really knew going through the handshake, and ones that really kind of got to me. But I mean, every team has so many good players too, and there's so many respectable guys in the league that sometimes it's kind of a cool feeling to kind of go through the line and handshake some of those players.
So one of the other things that jumped off the page at me when I was watching the Stanley Cup final when it was on the NHL Network this past week was just how much taller than Brad Marchand you really are. I mean, that was quite a different. I'm going, wow, and then the other one though was, I mean, you're able to look Zdeno Chara right in the eye when you look at a 20-year career, the way he battled and then finishing the game with that face shield is. Do you feel something special, when you go up against just an absolute player like and battler like a guy like he is?
Yeah, and he's obviously a good role model for the game, the way he approaches the game and the way that he just approaches off ice. And I still remember when we were at the World Championships, we were kind of sharing a gym with other teams, and he was in there all the time. And just the way that he worked and was doing things in the gym, obviously it goes to show why he's been in the league for so long. He's been successful, and obviously he's won the Stanley Cup, and just so many respectful things about that player that you obviously respect and kind of look up to. So he's been a role model, obviously, when you get into the league, and somebody that you've seen win the Stanley Cup. So just it's been cool to get the chance to play against a player like that, obviously, and a player that caliber, the guy that's kind of been through it all, and get the chance to just battle it out with him and learn from him.
All right, here's a fun one, Colton, coming from Stephen Smith. How would you describe your first NHL goal to your daughter or son?
Yeah, that was quite the experience for sure. What a cool moment to get there. And luckily for me, it was 3 hours south of my hometown in Calgary, Alberta, and my family was there to watch. I had both my parents, my two sisters, brother-in-law. So cool moment where I was just on the power play and got the pass at the top, and I saw an opportunity for a wrist shot and just took a wrist shot from the top at the blue line in the middle, and went top glove. So pretty cool.
Who grabbed the puck for you?
I can't remember who grabbed the puck, but it's sitting up in my room on the shelf. Yeah.
So they did give you the puck. They didn't put it in a blender, grind it up, and give it to you in a box.
I got it. It's nice. Actually, it kind of sits on a little plaque, and has kind of the date, who I played, and it was it's a really nice job that they did and put that together.
Hey, what clicked as this past year before the pause went along, Colton, where you just started chucking that puck with that shot towards the net?
I don't know. I don't know if there was one specific thing that I changed about my game or not, but I just felt like I was finding different spots to get open. I was finding myself in areas where I could get my shot off and trying to position myself in spots where they can get me the puck and I can get the puck to the net. So had some great help from the guys, obviously, great passes, and guys were in front of the net. There was a couple shots that were kind of scary for some guys, I think, in front. I still remember, I can't remember who it was against, but
Steen. It was Steen.
It was Steen. I know that much, but he came across the net and I was winding up, and that's impressive because it's hard to it can be hard to do that. So he's been a lot of help, actually.
Because I remember the next day or within a couple of days after that, I came up to you and asked you about it because you scored, but at the same time, while you wanted to celebrate, you had your eyes were wide, we're pointing at Steen, going, "You okay?"
Yeah, I still remember that. I'm like, wow, that was impressive because, it's not easy to go past the goalie's eyes, especially if I'm half in the windup and trying to time it at the right time. And if I shot high that goal, I still remember. So, that's impressive stuff.
All right, well, let's give another winner here. Jay Middleton. Let's give to Jay Middleton, who is celebrating his 6th birthday. We had wished him happy birthday a little bit earlier on, actually. But, Jay, happy 6th birthday. We're going to send you an autographed puck. Yeah, for being a part of things as well. So, hey, listen, before we wrap up, anything you'd like to say to the fans or people? This is truly something where, yes, I know, it's impacting different people in certain ways, but it is definitely impacting everybody. This is one thing where we're truly all in it together, isn't it?
100%. Yeah. I mean, if there was anything I could say, really was first and foremost, thank you to everybody on the front lines that are helping us out. And during this time, we have the individuals at the hospital that are putting in countless hours. I mean, hours around the clock, 24 hours. And the policemen, the firefighters, the ambulance, or paramedics, I guess I could say. But they're keeping our world safe right now. They're making sure everything's kind of still going. And we can't thank those guys enough. And thank you for your service and keeping St. Louis safe. But from the fans' perspective, just hang in there. We love playing in front of you. We miss it. I can promise you that much. And before you know it, though, we'll just continue to do our part, and we'll be back on the ice in front of you guys soon, and hopefully we'll be defending that championship.
If this meant playing hockey in August and September that just led into another season, you okay with that?
100%. Whatever we got to do to get things rolling here and making sure everybody's safe.
All right, if it's okay with you, when this is all done, I'm going to get a screenshot of your kitchen there so I can show my kids. I'm going to say, hey, Mr. Parayko keeps his kitchen clean. Somebody says, yeah, now put your dishes in the dishwasher, please.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Colton, hey, thank you so much. I know you've been doing a lot. You're going to join the video game tournament.
Yeah, I think that's coming up. It starts on Saturday, and I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, though. I'm not much of a gamer. I haven't been much of a gamer before this whole quarantine has started, but I've played in the past, so I'm hoping I can hold my own. But I'm just excited, kind of like we were touching on earlier, kind of connect with the fans, gives us something to do with the fans, just in terms because of the time, and hopefully I get to play against someone that is a good challenge and is kind of my caliber, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I win.
Well, if I played against you, you'd kick my butt. Apparently, you can beat me in Mario Kart.
I would say we might have to play Mario Kart.
Pac-Man? Some of the older games? I got it.
I don't know. I probably won't stand a chance in that one.
Yeah. Centipede? I got it. Some of these other ones where you got 16 fingers go, ooh, baby. So that one's
everything.
Yeah. Hey, Colton, cheers, buddy. Thank you very much for hanging out with us during the happy hour. Stay healthy. We can't wait to see you back at the rink, my friend. And again, thanks for all the help and the time that you're giving, not only the team, but just the fans and the community to help get through this. We can't wait to see you back at the rink real soon, bud.
Thanks, Grips. Appreciate you having me on, and I enjoy doing this with the fans. So thank you guys for all the questions, and hope you guys enjoyed the happy hour.